here fast, guys. Tell me, you guys all good? Call you guys good?
Yeah, we're good. Guys, you're good? Yep. Good over here. Good.
Excellent. Morning, everyone. Always good to be back at Newark Airport. It's a nice balmy day here in Newark. And just the last year, the Port Authority reported that 146 million air passengers flew in and out of the New Jersey, New York metro area. That's, by the way, a new record of air traffic, the second record in a row, the year before being the highest number. While the number of flights has surged, the number of aviation workers protecting us has not kept pace. Not long ago, I was here visiting the tower, where I saw firsthand, and the tower's right behind me. I was up there, I saw firsthand air traffic controllers working around the clock to keep our skies safe. It is a grueling job, and as many of you know, they are woefully understaffed in the towers. Many are working overtime, incredibly long hours, and back-to-back shifts. The situation for air traffic controllers is so dire that more than 90% of our nation's air traffic control facilities operate below the FAA's recommended staffing levels. In fact, nearly 1/4 of those locations, more than 70 across the country, are missing at least a quarter of the recommended workforce. These safety professionals and their support staff help build out flight paths, help with the data support, help with technology in the towers and on the ground. And they do trainings. We've got the best people in the business there, and let me just tell you, it's not easy work. Now, we also have a huge shortage of other FAA workers, and people don't realize this. A huge shortage. It's not just in the tower, it's other FAA workers that ensure our safety. That's a huge problem. As of last December, we were 800 short of FAA technicians. At many facilities, workers are forced to work mandatory overtime, 6-day work weeks just to fill in the gaps. Technicians fix and operate safety-critical pieces of equipment, including radars and communications technology, every day keeping us safe. They're on the ground in the towers, helping to handle the huge surge of air traffic. Many people are flying across the country with less staff on the ground to handle this huge increase in air traffic. So we've seen a huge surge in air traffic and fewer FAA safety workers protecting us. That's why I'm here today, because despite all of this, starting last Friday, the Trump administration announced that they were gutting the FAA and firing hundreds of these critical FAA workers at our airports across the country. Now, given our current FAA staffing shortages, the jump in flight delays, and the tragic number of recent airplane crashes and near misses, that makes zero sense to me. Why would you cut FAA workers at a time when we know there are more incidents, more traffic, and more challenges? Let me say this again. The Trump administration wants to barrel ahead and slash the aviation safety workforce, despite the fact that there have been 14 fatal airplane crashes in just January and February of this year alone. Why would you lay off critical aviation workers who protect our safety? That shows zero thinking and strategy, in my opinion. The FAA and air traffic safety is no place to slash and burn and create chaos. Last month, we lost 67 souls in a tragic crash over the Potomac River. 2 days later, 7 people were killed when a medical jet carrying a child patient crashed in Philadelphia. A week after that, 10 people were killed when a plane went down in Alaska. 2 more were lost just a few days ago in Arizona. We obviously saw on Monday the plane flip over in Canada. Thank God no one died. At least 87 people, though, have perished so far this year. If we want to reassure families that we're doing everything to protect the lives of our loved ones, we can't also tell them there'll be fewer workers looking out for their safety when they fly. Once we lose these workers, by the way, making up the difference is an uphill battle. It's very hard to get them back. Under the best circumstances, it could take more than 4 years just to train a single air traffic controller. Training FAA technicians, which are also key to safety, and mechanics can take more than 2 years. Today, I'm announcing new actions to fight back against these FAA cuts, to help keep our aviation workers on the job, keep our skies safer, and ensure the safety of our families when they fly. First, I'm announcing new legislation to prohibit major staff cuts at the FAA if a fatal crash has occurred in U.S. airspace within the last year. When it comes to supporting those who work hard every day to protect us, we can't cut corners on our air safety. Second, last year I helped pass the Federal Aviation Administration Reauthorization Act. It requires the FAA over the next 5 years to deploy critical safety technology at airports across the country to help prevent what's called close calls on the ground, right, and around our runways. Today I'm sending a letter to the FAA demanding that they keep and fast track this initiative. They can't gut that program, and I make it very clear to the White House. You can't gut the program that's key to air traffic safety on the ground, right, to prevent those near misses. They can't freeze the resources going to them or cut staff working on that. Finally, as a member of the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence and on the Financial Services Committee, I understand how critical air safety travel is to our national security. Unfortunately, we've seen firsthand in the skies above us what can happen if a terrorist gets control of an airplane. You want the best people protecting us in the towers behind me and on the ground, able to respond quickly and smartly. I proudly helped write, negotiate, and pass the bipartisan infrastructure bill. It included $15 billion in federal investments to support projects to increase airport safety. This legislation is paying dividends right here in Jersey. Last summer, New Jersey airports received $53 million to improve our air traffic infrastructure, upgrade our terminals, enhance runway safety. Newark specifically received more than $42 million to enhance security on the ground. Also, the FAA Reauthorization Act requires secondary cockpit barriers to be installed on all commercial aircraft to help prevent airplanes from being hijacked in the air. It's a common sense requirement that came out of the 9/11 recommendations. It was the last requirement that wasn't passed into law. Now it's law. I will never stop fighting to ensure that all our families across the country are safe and secure and they can get home at night. We're here today to tell anyone who tries to play political games with our air safety in New Jersey or in the United States, we're not going to let that fly in Jersey. To be clear, I'm all for government efficiency, and I have a record of that, but not for stupidity. And firing FAA workers is just plain stupid and puts Jersey families and passengers at risk. So let's work together and solve this problem as we always do, because working together in the greatest country in the world, I know that our best days will always be ahead of us. Thanks so much. God bless. You guys have any questions?
I do.
Yes, ma'am.